Hi folks, good morning from Donegal, Ireland. Jonathan Power is my name, and this morning I'm going to quickly show you how to set up WordPress Multisite on the Cloudways hosting platform, and at the end I'm going to show you how to install WordPress Ultimo to run on our network so that we can set up a website so we can sell individual websites on our network, similar to what Michael Short is doing here on industrypro.com. When you click on the GoPro today, you're brought to the pricing table, and we can set up all different types of plans, and different features are available on the different plans. That's what we're going to do at the end with WP Ultimo. So to get started, we'll log into our Cloudways control panel, and I have a couple of different servers and stuff set up there already, so just ignore all that. If you're new to this, they do a 3-day free trial, and if you need to contact support, they're over here on the right, or they should be. My internet is a bit laggy this morning, and so you have links there to the knowledge base, the live chat, create a ticket, and the community. Live chat is down at the bottom here. You need to put in some details and select the department, and if you're a new customer, existing customer, and that kind of stuff. Before I forget there, if you're new to all this multi-site, WordPress multi-site stuff and all that, want to learn more about it, we have a WordPress group dedicated to all of this. It's called WAS Pro Developer Network on Facebook there. Do a search for it, but I'll put links to all these different things that I'll discuss in the video in the comments anyway, so that you won't get lost and be able to find everything. So as I was saying there, we want to log into Cloudways, and the first thing that you'll need to do is create a new project. I'll call it just testing 4, because I'll be deleting this after the video. I'm just using this for this tutorial. So we need to set up our WordPress now. We can see over here top right that tested 4 has been created successfully, so we need to go over to servers now and add a server. You need to select your application here, multi-site version, give it a name, and we'll go down to testing 4. Then we can select between 5 different hosting providers: DigitalOcean, Linode, Volt, Amazon Web Services is what AWS stands for, and Google Cloud. So Linode is probably the most popular for getting started here. You know that there's probably a lot to consider in choosing a hosting provider. You can set up WordPress Multisite, of course, on more or less any hosting, things like Cluster, SiteGround, cPanel, all that kind of stuff. So questions for the hosting, if you want to learn more about that, go over to the WAS Pro Developer Network, and there's tons of guys in there that know an awful lot about big hosting configurations and stuff like that, so that's the best place to ask those questions. So just to get started on this, I'm going to go with Linode, and I'm just going to select a 1 GB server there. I am in Ireland, as I said there, so I want to pick a location that's nice and close to me. London will do, and we're just going to launch that now. So it tells us up here that that's going to take 7 minutes, so I'm just going to pause the video and get a cup of tea. Be back in a moment, folks. Now, so we can see that testing 4, our server there, has been completed for us. When we go down to applications now, testing 4 is down there. And one thing I would say when I'm in this screen, actually, if you're using a page builder, I would go into application settings, and when you're working on the site, I would disable varnish cache, because in quite a lot of situations, it's given problems with page builders when you save the page that you're working on and it won't save correctly because the memory caching vanishes is affecting it. The update, the saves won't appear on the site when you're looking at it. So just wanted to briefly mention that there. Actually, when I'm here, actually another thing is reset permissions. Sometimes when we are trying to SFTP connect into the server and change files, sometimes in FileZilla you will get an error that the files weren't changed, and that's why, because you need to reset permissions to change the files on the server. It must be some type of security setting that Cloudways have. It makes sense, like, you know, that you have to reset permissions to change files on the server. So that's two things I wanted to say there. So back to this, we need to go back to access details, and our access URL is there. Our email is there. Our password. So log in. I obviously like to clean up the dashboard. I'll just save our password and turn all of these off when we're in, because it makes things a lot simpler, a lot easier to understand. So we want to set up our network now, because when we look up here, it's actually still just a single installation. We haven't actually set up the network yet, so it's slightly, that confused me the first time I was on Cloudways. I thought that once you hit the installer that you have the network set up, but you know, we've still quite a bit of work to do. So to set up the network, we need to deactivate all these plugins first, or else it'll just give you an error to deactivate them. You can't actually break it. You'll just get an error message when you go into tools and network setup, and it's subdirectories that we want here, and you can just name your network title there, and admin, set the admin email address there. But we're just going to go install. Now we get this message here that we need to change our WordPress config file and the htaccess file, and it tells us here the path to where those are. They're in the public HTML folder on the server. So we need to launch our FTP program, FileZilla, and we need some details from Cloudways to get in there. We'll list our servers. Testing4 is the one we set up. We need the public IP that goes into the host. We need the username there. We need the password, goes up there, and it's port 22. Quick connect. There we go. Bob's your uncle. We're logged in now. So applications, and there's another interesting thing. If you have a lot of different applications on a server in some situations there, and you're confused about which application is which when you log in, when you go to your access details screen in Cloudways, and if you look at the name of the database and the username, we can see here it says DUZNG. Well, we can see it's the same. They name the application the same when you log in, so that's how you will know which is which if you've more than one application on the same server. But anyway, we want to go back now to creating a network, and we need to now find the WordPress config PHP file in the public directory. So we need to go public here, and it'll be, there it is, and we go view edit, and so this is my code editor. Sublime Text is what I'm using there, and we can see that define WordPress WP WordPress allow multisite true is there, so already. So we just want to paste in our new rules. That's it there, and when we close that, we'll save it. FileZilla will know that that file has been altered. It'll ask me, do I want to upload it? I say yes. I can see that it's been transferred successfully there. That's what I'm on about. Sometimes you will get a red letters in a color red there, giving you a warning that the files weren't successfully transferred, and that's because you need to reset the permissions back here, is what I'm on about, and try it a second time. So anyway, we need to change our HT access file now, and that's going to be down here, and we want to select everything, cancel it, and copy in all the new rules. Same thing, I'll be prompted. FileZilla knows that file has changed. It will ask me, do I want to upload it? Go yes. I can see it's uploaded correctly. So there, we've done that now. When because I've changed all that, when I refresh the page now back in Cloudways, I need to log back in. And when I go up here now, we can see that we now have a network that's working. Do you remember previously we'd only like a normal installation screen, but now we have this new option now, network admin, and we can go over to the dashboard there and we can do all sorts of things. So what I want to do now is I'm going to install my WordPress Ultimo plugin. Plugins, add new, upload plugin. It's there in my downloads. Install now. My internet's a bit slow on the upload this morning there. It's just lagging a bit, but there we go. Now, so that's installed. We need to network activate that plugin. And I'm just going to go through the basic installation and how to set up the domain mapping on Cloudways, because I'm not going to go into all the different settings and everything, because Nathan Wrigley from WordPress Builds has already done an almost 2-hour webinar there with Arindo from South America on how to configure all the settings. So there's no point to me doubling up what's already done there, and I'll put a link to that tutorial as well in the comments under my video. So we want to go back here anyway and just get back to this basic installation, what I'm on about. Enable domain mapping, yes. Select whoever your payments are. Select your trial period. I'll just say 30 days. This can all be changed later on, absolutely everything, you know. And the trial period, when you're setting there for 30 days, you can actually override that individually on the plans. Say that you're running some type of promotion for some unusual type plan, you can give a trial of 60 days or 3 days, or make it shorter or longer, whatever you want. Save and continue. Now, it says here, copying Sunrise PHP to the directory, copy automatically. It says that it's upgraded successfully. And now we need to go back into our WordPress config PHP file, and we need to set this define Sunrise true in that file. So we're back into FileZilla and back into Sublime Text. It tells us there that it's going at the bottom above that famous line. What does it say? That's all, stop editing, happy blogging. So if you've done any file work on WordPress, you'll be very familiar with that. So we want to go back here to WordPress config, open it again in Sublime Text. There's the line I'm on about, that's all stop editing, happy blogging down at the end. And I'm just going to paste in the sunrise through there and save, and back into FileZilla, upload that, file transferred successfully up there. It'll give me, I can check the configuration now, and it tells me there that everything is set up correctly. So now what we want to do is, it tells us here there's different ways of setting up the domain mapping on different hosts. The best place, as I said earlier on in the video, to ask all those type questions is over in our WAS Pro developer network, and you can ask all those questions related to hosting and domain mapping and all those technical stuff. So we want to go to continue, template site, and we are all set up to go, except for we haven't set up Cloudways in the WordPress config file, so that is over here on our Windows website. We need to get a couple of different things. We need to get a Cloudways API key, the server ID, the application ID, and we need to add all that to the WordPress config file above the same line again. So there we are, Control C, copy all of that. And where am I now? I'm back in FileZilla looking for that WordPress config file. Open it again, and I'm back at the bottom again, just above the line that's all stop editing, happy blogging. And so I want to go into, put in my email first. And there, so I need to put in an API key, go back to Cloudways, go up here to the very top, API key, and we just copy that there. We need to go back down, copy that in, okay, and then we need the server ID. So I'll go back to servers, it'll give a list of servers that we have. Testing 4 is this one here. We need the digit, copy that from the URL, that is the server ID, and then we need the application ID. So go back to our application, testing 4, and it's up in the URL up there also. So we need to go back then, app ID, put that in, and close that, save it, and go back to FileZilla and upload that. So we've done everything there. Yep, we've set everything up. Where the shortcodes now, if you go to the docs on wpultimo.com, knowledge base shortcodes, and we need that shortcode there, WP pricing table, Control C. I'll go back to my master site. Here we go, dashboard and pages, all pages. I'll just add a new one. There's going to be a couple of sample pages there set up on installation. I'm just going to call this sign up, and if I paste in that pricing table there, that should be there now. Yeah, so that's just the default demo plans that are set up on installation if you select that feature. And so that's a free plan, paid plans. We haven't set up Stripe payments and all that, but as I said, Arindo covers all of that in the other webinar that they did, setting up the plans and all that stuff, so I don't need to go into that. So you have a basic installation now set up on set up on WordPress and everything. That it's not because I'm actually logged in here as an admin, so I can't actually show you the sign up unless I go to an incognito browser, but you get the idea anyway. The only thing I didn't say there is setting up your domain. If you're not familiar with this, you need to go to domain management there, and you need to enter your primary domain, whatever that is. You will need your, go to your servers, you will need your server IP. From there, copy that, and I'm in Namecheap now, my domain provider, and you will need to set up 2A records with the server IP here and here, one the naked domain and one with www, and you want to wait at least 24 hours for that to propagate before you set the domain. And then applications there, so testing for, and then domain is there, and then for the SSL certificate you want to put in your email address, and you want to put in your domain there, and you want to put in a second version of your domain, the naked version without the 3 W's as well, and install your certificate. But as I said, you'll have to wait a good 24 hours when you're setting up the domain IP and all that stuff. You can use a great site for checking to see if your domain has propagated is what's my DNS.net. We can go in there and you can put in your domain up there, and it's an A record you're checking, and press search, and you will see has it propagated or not. So I think that's everything, folks. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and learned something from it. If you have any questions, as I said, the best place to get us is over in WAS over here, and ask us stuff there, and we'll try and help you your best. Thanks very much. Bye for now.